Everybody, it has been a little while since we last saw your lovely faces here at Graham Crackers. For those of you tuning in for the first time, welcome, welcome, welcome. Here at Graham Crackers, we are all about making memories with friends. Whether those are through TTRPGs, RPGs, or MMORPGs, it's all about the time you spend with the people you love. I am your host, Graham or Graham Crackers, and tonight I have the wonderful luxury of playing your DM in our D&D 5e homebrew campaign, Anarions Rest. And I am joined by some phenomenal friends, some of which are new to the channel, some are old friends once more visiting from the ether from which they came. And while they need no introductions, I, as every week, will ask 3 things that I would love to know from all of my wonderful friends, which are, who are they? Who are they playing? And the last question, this is very sinister music, what is your favorite type of dragon? So without further ado, I'll hand it off to my lovely players.
You said we had an established order, and I don't remember what it is.
I thought I had it pinned.
I don't know who's supposed to go when.
Oh no. Let me look at the pen. The order is me, Rue's out. So Golaneth, Mackie, and then Cars. Our order's all shifted.
I'm muted. Oh my god, I'm having so many problems today. What's up, everybody? I'm Confounded. I'm playing Golaneth. You're an elven rogue. I'm very excited to see all of these lovely people today, this evening. Our guests, our normal crew. And my favorite kind of dragon is a friendly, generous dragon. I will dole out the hugs. Come here. Time for the real thing. Oh, here's my favorite kind of dragon. It's the floppy ears tails a wagon dragon. Log. Oh, what's up, girl? All right, cool. I've had enough.
You stole my dragon answer because my dog, we often say, looks like a little dragon.
My bad.
She said, "No, that's all right. I've got another one. I've got a backup." I think we've all established that all of our dogs are the best dogs, and all of our dogs are also the best dragons. I think that's what I figured out. I'm Jen. I'm playing Maggie, the Firbolg Druid, and my second favorite dragon is the dragonflies at my lake that my dog, who looks like a dragon, gets really excited by and tries to jump around the dock and try to get to. Those are my favorites.
It's adorable. Hello, everyone. It is I, Kari, along this presence of exclusive content here on this channel. I will be playing Karis Nevsen, the Tiefling Wizard. And as for my favorite dragon is the dragon I raised and hatched from a baby, Aureen from Guild Wars 2. She is the best dragon, the only dragon of my heart. She's my little baby girl and is beautiful, so nothing else can measure up.
And then I go, right? Yeah, I'm Vinny. Hello. I'm a guest here today. I will be playing a dragon, and my favorite dragon is myself. The end.
Damn, you stole it. Okay. My name is Casey. I'm from the Ether. And I will be playing Prisma. And my favorite dragon is I'm just gonna go with the black dragon because they're cool. They got cool heads. I like the horns and the fact that they don't have a nose. I'm into that.
Right on. Yeah, hey, I'm Cool Cat. Nice to meet you guys. I'll be playing Smolder the Everburning, and I'd have to say my favorite dragon's a blind, lazy dragon, because it's the only chance I have to get away.
Lovely, lovely. thank you everyone for these lovely introductions. And without further ado, we're going to get into it. So let me change up our music. For those of you tuning into the channel, every week I give my players a wonderful chance. A chance at redemption. A chance at saving themselves. A chance to say, fuck you, Graham. Which is, I give them the option to do the recap of the previous session. If they give the recap, they get a 1d6 to use after they've seen the result of a roll. Once per session. But if I give the recap, I get a 1d6 to use for ill or for good. So, Dream Team, are you doing the recap this week, or am I? You are muted, Jen.
I think Con and I were the two who were there.
Yes.
Yeah. Con, you want to split it?
We found some dragons.
Yeah, we found some dragons. We're with the I never get it. Inquisitorius.
Yes,
You did it.
I did it. I did. Oh, cool. Going through the tunnels underneath the like crazy magic tunnels. And we are trying to find the object that will free the Inquisitorius from the magical spell that keeps her, it's her, right? Not they.
Yep.
Her under obligation to the Empire. And she in return will get us the crown that we want to find. Supposedly, that's the deal at least.
Yep.
And we showed up, and it turns out that what we need to do here to get this object is to stop these dragons from quarreling like little children over a bunch of loot. And there's, I can't remember, the person who's trying to...
The Arbiter.
Is it like the Arbiter? Yeah, is basically like, I've been trying to do this for centuries, and it's not working. You try something.
Giving up.
Yeah. So we are here to negotiate, and I believe that Maggie's... approach here is, oh yes, I have children. I've been through this before.
Yes. You are all very well prepared for this to a degree. So without further ado,
Good job, Maggie.
Do I get my D6?
You
Yes.
do. You get your D6. It is a well-deserved D6.
You get mine also.
Okay there. Whoa.
Easy now.
All right.
I lost my notes.
Let me set the scene. Maggie, Golanath, Karis, you stand atop an ancient acropolis. A temple pre-cataclysm, still bearing the markings of the god of law, scorched by the meteors and the fires that burned civilizations to ash. 3 colossal dragons sit atop a dais. One to the left, one to the right, and one to the center. The Arbiter standing about 40 feet away towards you. The 3 dragons themselves, I'm going to ask them to describe the dragon. So we'll start with whichever one of you wants to describe your dragon first, and what the party would see.
Yeah, I'll go with me. Smolder, he's just kind of kicked back, obviously spending way too much time in this room, in this chair, waiting for this moment. Scarred up face, just kind of picking his teeth with a nail, bored.
And what color is he?
Oh, red, ancient red. Very bright red, still, lustrous scales despite the time.
Well preserved.
I suppose I'll go next. Prisma is a crystal dragon. She's out in full gargantuan form, kind of just looming over things, but she's sitting very close within herself like a cat that's just kind of like waiting for something to happen. And compared to the other 2, she's kind of girthy.
And Rex Valicious, the pertinent, is I guess it's a topaz dragon, closer, like pretty shiny, golden almost, and they are kind of lanky, and they're like seated, maybe even laying down. They're not kicked back the same way Smolderer is. They seem more like, I don't know, just impatient. Like they're just kind of like leaning forward and like raking their claws over the stone in front of them, and you can see that they've like, it seems like they've been doing it so long they've made like these long ruts in the rock in front of them that they've just like ripped out over time.
The Arbiter looks at all of you and just kind of motions to the party and then takes a step forward. They hold their right hand and this shifting golden staff kind of forms like from sand, kind of shifting like gold flecks into this simple staff. And they offer a bow to each of the dragons, directing, and they just say, "Long have we struggled to reach an accord. I do apologize that I have not been capable of weighing all of your frustrations, desires, and needs. As such, I believe fresh eyes and fresh opinions may be the catalyst we require to reach an accord. As such, these adventurers," and she motions to you, Maggie, to kind of introduce herself.
Oh, Maggie, this is that's law. This is all. I'm sorry, Maggie. My name's.
Hi, new friend.
And she motions to Golnath.
Hi.
And then to Karis. Oh, did your mic cut out? Yes. No worries. Tech gremlins. They get us every time. But, she kind of motions to all three and says, "They will act on my behalf to decide the fate of this glorious horde that the three of you have waited for these long years as payment. Please treat them with all the respect and royalties you would afford me. For they are acting on my behalf."
What qualifies them?
What qualifies them is that while the three of us, well, four of us, have been speaking and debating, they have been living in the world at large. They have seen what you three have missed out on these many long years. They have experience and knowledge to offer. They have knowledge of the world at large. And they are mortal, so they are less defined and less directed to their purpose. As such, they may be more impartial than myself.
You say impartial. I think ill-informed.
You don't even know them. You know, let's just hold off a little bit and maybe meet them until we cast judgment of any kind.
Look at them. Look how small they are. I can
Okay,
practically see their bodies wasting away in front of me. They're so...
that means nothing. The mass of someone, as we can be just as crafty in diminutive forms, how come that doesn't stretch to them? Is it
You don't have to respect us or think that we're qualified or anything. You can just stay here and not have anything for an indefinite amount of time after we leave. That's up to you. Mm-hmm.
They do raise a good point. While their qualifications may be but a pulse, it's better than what we have been having.
Oh, I welcome the assistance.
Maybe the situation just needs fresh eyes.
So how would you like to begin?
I leave this.
One moment, and Karis will like take
huddle the group.
two aside. Exactly, like group huddle. And they're like, it's stage whispery, so it's like depending on what the dragons can hear, but it's very much team huddle moment. And so Karis is like, okay, so we have an objective, right? And I suppose we should do our best to actually get people what they both want and can most appropriately take care of. No? So I feel like we should do a little bit of interviewing as to what each dragon cares about and is most prepared to care for, and then B, how we can figure out how to make that happen.
Yeah. No, I think
as easily as possible. There are definitely, they're all going to have to compromise. I think our real trouble is going to be making sure that they can compromise without like setting any of us on fire, but we should be fine. I do have spells for that in case of that eventuality, so we should be all right, I think.
I definitely think we need to interview them. The issue is really whether they're actually invested in the things that they're arguing over, or they're invested in arguing over things. If you see my point. Also, I'm not very good at persuading people of things. I'm at all, in any way, shape, or form, even a little bit. So, you know, I'm here though.
I mean, I can present academic topics, and I have an incredible amount of logic on my side, but admittedly, persuasion of the traditional sense is not my strong suit.
Colin,
And then we just all stare at Colin.
yeah.
The spy.
I think you're the people person of the group.
No one has ever accused me of being the people person of the group. I thought I was the stabby, steal stuff guy.
Right. Well, like, I mean, that's kind of.
I don't
You
think,
contain multitudes, Golineth. Now's your time to shine.
I don't think
know,
the daggers
channel,
are going to work
what
the
was
same.
your Fey patron's name? Whatever her name is. Channel, like, the best parts of her, whatever
no,
parts she had that
yeah.
were best. Just keep it with you.
Yeah, okay. We're all
So
gonna
let's
die.
do like a interview with each one of them. We'll do just to tell us about yourself and what do you see yourself doing in the next 1,000 years or so. What that kind of thing would be. Yeah.
At least it's not an interview with a vampire.
Let's ask these few questions. One, what do you value? Two, what do you care about? Two different things. And three, what are your goals? We can be more specific. That might be a little broad. But I think those are some good places to start here.
Those are good. Those are good. Those are good. I'll
right,
throw some out as we go. I'll just sort of, feel the situation out and throw out some questions as we go.
Oh,
if
would you like to roll an insight check? If you're trying to get feels? Yeah, if you'd like to.
Oh, I might as we talk to them, but no.
Okay,
Maggie, -1 charisma Maggie is just.
All right, so who are you approaching first?
Maybe we start out with the friendly one.
Wait, they're not all friendly?
No, there was the one friendly one, and then the other two.
Friendly ones are my favorite ones.
Yeah, we'll go.
So y'all could take that one.
Okay. How do I say Iprisma? How do I say your name?
Close enough. My thing is freezing.
We're having all kinds of tech gremlins.
Yeah, mine's.
Oh,
Just give it
no.
a sec. Just give it 1 sec.
We can start out with a different one.
My dogs decided to fight.
Hey, we have fun here.
Whole computer's freezing.
Oh no.
This is just the tech gremlin bonanza today.
Hey, that is fine. Oh no. Oh, goodbye,
that one?
Casey. Goodbye, Casey. Oh, they're back.
Okay, there we go.
Huzzah. Oh my god.
Con with the 5 gifts up. Con.
Insane.
Ah!
Is that what gave us all the lag? Was it the effusive generosity of
It might be. All right, you good, Casey?
Yeah.
All right. So what mood do you think the music should represent when they go to visit you?
For me?
Yeah. Are we talking
I don't
happy
know,
music?
something maybe like something with a flute.
Something with a flute? I'll try my best.
Okay. I believe in you. I believe you will succeed. You got this.
I got piano.
That's good
Okay.
too. That's good too.
Very warm and bright music.
Yeah, does it remind you of the scent of fresh cut grass?
Kind of.
Okay, there you go.
It's like a dewy morning.
There you go. It's nice. So yeah, she's sitting there, Prisma, the crystal dragon, gargantuan, just kind of watching y'all. Very imposing figure.
So, there. I'm Karis. This is Maggie.
Hello.
And we just have a few, I guess, questions before we really dive into all of this. What are you most hoping to get out of this division situation?
She looks to the other 2 dragons that are just chilling there, and she's going to be like, one moment, just a moment, let me just slip into something. And then she's going to transform. Everything gets all sparkly and glowy, and then she goes really compact until she's in the form of a elder halfling lady with like gray hair. And she'll walk up to you, Karis, and reach into a pocket and pull out a bag of orange slices and hand them to you. You don't know like where those were before when she was, right? Yes, it's very.
I was wondering that too.
And then she'll start to go to take your hand, but like if that's okay, if it's not, then she'll kind of like smoothly. That's okay.
Yeah, like I think Karis is just more like she was impressed about that. Wow, you got like so compact, and she was internally going through like the calculations that you'd have to like have to do that kind of scale of polymorph, like transfiguration that's going on. So she was just like
A lot of trig,
marveling
yeah.
at that skill, and so she's like only sort of she's catching up. So she has taken the oranges, recognized that there is something being presented to her, takes it in her hand. You also notice that she's missing like half of a leg, and there's just this weird glowy arcane appendage down there.
Mm-hmm.
But she does like allow you to take their hand as well, and it's just sort of like bemused at this point.
Okay.
But
All
is
right,
willing to go along. It's like, all
yeah,
right,
we're gonna
okay.
lead you away. We're gonna lead you away, and she's gonna give a little beckoning finger with the other 2 as well. We're like, okay, we can't do that. We're there in earshot and stuff. That's not how that works.
Oh, well, I figured you all have been like arguing about it for this long that maybe that was already common knowledge, but I guess not. Should we
How
have a room?
familiar?
Do we have a separate room?
How
Raise
familiar
their
is
hand for
your?
like the arbiter of like, do we have a room?
Can we get sidebar?
Yeah. You know what? The Arbiter will create a
Everybody just put your hands over your ears.
Earmuffs.
honor system.
and
Honor
go
system.
la la la
everyone.
la la.
No, the
Exactly.
Arbiter will wave a hand, and a door appears in the middle of nowhere that opens into a small little Debbie plane.
Thanks, hon.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Shall we go in?
Yes, please and thank you. Okay. So she'll walk in and she'll turn around and like, yeah, like I don't know how many times y'all have had run-ins with dragons, but we're like layers on layers on layers of schemes and plans. That's just like an understood thing between us and the smaller folk. So that's why I don't want to be honest necessarily in
Chris has
front of
immediately
them.
broken out a notebook and has taken notes on this immediate.
Okay, yeah, good
discussion of
smart.
information.
Good smart you.
All right.
Okay. But I think we're safe here. I think this is another plane, so I think that we're good.
Yes. I'm
Okay.
thinking that this is a variation on probably one of those marvelous mansions, but like smaller and simpler and just like a room. So we should be good.
Okay. Agreed.
Mhm.
I'll just stand here.
Okay. So understanding that yes, this is schemes, but pretending that we are not part of those schemes for a minute, we're just gonna set that aside. If in a perfect world, what would you want to obtain from this situation, minus the potentiality for the entire horde to be yours? Because I assume that like everyone would want all of it to just be yours and nobody
Oh,
else.
sure,
could
sure,
have it.
sure.
Like sure,
Yes, of course.
for real. But we know that that's not feasible. That's not realistic
Right.
about the situation. And I know that you are
And
incredibly
you know
smart
what?
and
I
intelligent.
completely agree with
So-
that. I don't think that any single one of us should go away with the entire horde. Not even
Exactly.
me.
I don't think that's possible. I don't think that's realistic to
Right.
expect. So we're just gonna go with the assumption of there are some priorities that we have here.
Okay, so far
and we
y'all
wanna
are like
understand what those are.
y'all are acing y'all's judgment. So good job. Okay.
Fantastic. We love that.
All right. How can I help? What can I answer?
So, what are your priorities here with this horde?
High
High value items you are interested in that you would conceivably perhaps take concessions on other items in order to obtain.
Okay. All right. So if y'all want to be really, really nice about it, I really want the crystal of Abathir. It's a little more. It's a little more than what everybody else has been arguing about, like the singular like wins, right? I think that's a little more valuable than some of the other things that we've been discussing. But in the spirit of coming together to find a solution and compromise, I would also be okay with just like a lot of magical items and gold. But I figure everyone's gonna get some gold, right? That's okay. All right, cool.
Yeah, like, I mean, I'm operating from the assumption of it would be equal parts of each thing feasibly, but adjusting those equal parts dependent on people's preferences, needs, wants, etc. But certainly working with that, everyone gets a little bit of everything so that nobody feels completely left out, and also no
That's
one's
healthy.
completely happy, because that's really what a compromise is. If no one
Yep.
leaves here perfectly happy, right?
I mean, we're all dragons here except for you, so
7 foot tall Maggie, feeling awkward, hovering over a halfling, sits down. And
That's the orange slices in the middle of the table.
says,
y'all not gonna eat that. I'm gonna eat that if you.
I'm not. Are they orange slices? Is that definitely what they are?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay.
I'll see.
I bring snacks every day.
do you have a nice place to put all of these things when you go back home? You have a home to go to, right?
Actually, this is kind of it. This has kind of become it. It does have space for a nice little, vault. That's kind of where everything's been. So, I was thinking I could just go in there
So
and
Oh,
exist
interesting.
there.
So you're also looking for housing out of this situation.
Well, yeah. Well, okay. I kind of already accepted that this is my home a long time ago.
Okay.
Because you got stuck here.
Well, initially, yeah, but because Smolder and Rex Valicious, I knew I was gonna do that. Since they took up here, I haven't lacked for company, and I kind of like it that way. So I guess I'm kind of hoping too that they might want to stick around too. I don't know. I know that's kind of unheard of.
It makes complete sense to me that you wouldn't want to be alone. Is that a dragon thing to want to be alone?
I think it's a me thing, honestly. I don't know.
Well, I don't think you want to be alone.
I mean, traditionally speaking, at least from what we get stories of you all, which I admit is completely biased and maybe totally wrong, but we're always told that dragons don't get along well with each other and are not like sharing is caring sorts. However, I admit that again, that comes to us from very biased sources that have their own agendas and are probably really put out that the dragons aren't sharing with them particularly. Some of those people being the Empire. So take that with a grain of salt.
Okay, well, I mean, like, full disclosure, me and the other two do not see eye to eye. Like, that.
I mean, kind of I don't see eye to eye with Maggie all the time.
No, exactly. That's part of what makes it special is getting through it. Right?
Yeah. I would like to see if this is a sincere perspective on the part of the dragon with whom we are speaking, Graham.
Roll me that.
May I make a
check.
roll for that?
Yes, you may. So glad you asked.
Harris here delightfully being the straight man of like, yes, play against me. I mean, I just take everything at face value, but I'm hoping other
18.
people.
18, would you like to use your 1d6?
Not yet.
Okay. 18. Casey, I'll let you field this one. How genuine is...
With an 18, nothing strikes you as off so far. There is no discord in her voice.
Does it feel like it's the whole story?
Well, no. It's a very large dragon who's probably lived a long time, so there's a lot of story there.
No, what I meant was, does it feel like she shares her perspective in a very sort of straightforward, simple, well, this is what I'd want. And I'm just wondering if I'm getting echoes that there are like, that it's more complicated than that.
You're not.
For her. Okay.
Not with an 18.
So like, generally speaking, if you had the hoard of your dreams, what would it consist of?
I really like gemstones. Like all kinds of gemstones. I used to hang out with a bunch of dwarves, and I used to help them out because I liked finding that kind of stuff. And I just like filling up my lair with like all kinds of shiny rocks and stuff. Like I got my favorites for sure. Like, have you ever seen labradorite? It is beautiful. It reminds me of
Very
like
nice.
what a dark forest would look like every time you look at it or something like that. But there's also, diamonds are like always gonna be my favorite. Yeah. Sparkly things.
If you stay here and they stay here and all of the horde stays here, does it matter what part of the horde is technically whose?
Yes, it does, actually. Very much so. Okay, so we have established that you're not exactly like experts on dragons, right? Well, so let me shed a little bit more light on the situation. If I, like, this is a for instance, if I got the crystal of Abathir, in some respects, the horde, my horde, would be treated as more powerful, slightly like a barest of an inch of an amount, would be slightly more powerful than the other two. So here's the thing about that. That makes me slightly more powerful. Gives me a slightly bit more power over them. I'm not about making them do things or anything like that. I'm all about free love, baby. But it would make it easier to sort of rein them in later. You know, if they do decide to stay, which I'm not exactly banking on either. Like, I don't know what their decisions are going to be there. I'm sure they feel some way about each other.
So draconic hierarchy and therefore authority and therefore power is all dependent on the sides of your hordes in relation to each other?
Not entirely. There are small facets, like included in one's horde is one's servants, for instance. So one could amass an army, and that would be part of the horde, and then that could give you, a different.
Right, of course.
Yeah.
And you now see that Karis has like turned the book and has folded out
calculations.
He's creating an entire chart here.
Yeah.
And there's there are way more notes than you feel like there should be for the little that you've actually discussed. But she continues to scribble and seems pleased with this and just nods. It's like, okay, I think I'm following. Excellent. Fantastic. And then she turns to Maggie. So you had questions?
Oh, I've been asking them. When something is decided to be part of your horde, if all of the stuff technically stays together, is it labeled? Is there a document that says that it belongs to you? Like, what makes it officially yours?
I don't know. I don't know that one. I don't know how that works. I just know that it is.
What would satisfy you as to the ownership that you would have over it? What would?
I don't know how to explain it in your mortal terms. It's once it's yours, and all other dragons know it too.
Got it. Because with my children, sometimes I have to just like embroider their names on things, and
I imagine it's a little bit like the compelling that happens towards any other creature that is compelled to be of a certain nature.
It's magic. It's magic.
It's like, so, and she starts to like info dump at Maggie, but she starts discussing the nature of like true naming magic and when you like speak things into existence with like the words of creation and whatnot, and how this is speculated to exist as a part of like the divine thing.
I was just worried that I was gonna have to,
Oh yeah, if we had to be lawyers, that would be terrible because none of us are definitely not that.
Yeah,
so no, we're not going to be creating any documents, and I hope no one expects us to.
Right, or like chiseling initials into the objects to make sure.
No, that would probably damage the objects. We definitely shouldn't do that.
Right.
Especially not to magical objects. Those things are sensitive, and they're made the way that they are for very specific reasons that I won't go into because I'm very good at this.
That was good limits.
Like, don't go into it. Don't go into it.
You set very good limits, Karis. I respect it.
You're doing a very good job.
Trying so hard. I'm being so brave about this.
No, you're doing great.
Anyway, is there anything else you think we need to know, Maggie?
I can't think of anything right now, but I might think of things later.
All right, so we may consult with you later. Thank you so much for the orange slices. That was really nice of you.
Oh, no problem. Anytime. I have more if you want them. But I do have a couple of other things that I want to tell you before you let me go.
Sure.
I want to tell you the reason why I want a bigger horde, not just to keep the two in line, because I can't guarantee that they're going to stick around. But if they don't, I was thinking about maybe starting a family and having a clutch. And I want to be able to protect them. And I think that a larger horde will enable me to do that. And you can guarantee that if you give me the crystal. But also, if that's not enough, if that dream is not something that you can ride with me, I would also say that I am really good at astrology. I don't know if y'all are familiar with the science exactly, but I do have some capabilities to reveal knowledge and information that may have yet to be seen or was lost over time. Just gonna throw that out there.
I can vibrate slightly at that, and with more of that, I must not dig into that. Actually, I have to ask something completely different. She takes a deep breath.
Rue elbows Goldeneth and goes, "Hey, that sounds like maybe you could find about your parents.
However, important note, probably, this crystal of abattoir, am I saying that right? But this crystal, what is the nature of this crystal? Is it just a fancy big gem? Is it
I'm glad you asked.
What
I would love to
qualities does
honestly
this
tell
have?
you. And the truth is that it really is just big and shiny. And
Oh,
just
fantastic. I
extremely
love that. Okay,
valuable.
great. Fantastic. We love that.
Yeah.
Big and shiny. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
But so you were offering, if I understood correctly, to use your skills for us, right? To help us, right? Like, for how long? Like anytime we wanted to ask a question, or just
No.
once,
That would probably screw up a lot. Yeah, so I could only stick to 1 or 2 questions. I don't know, I hope you don't think this is very rude of me, but like I noticed the interesting leg bit where there used to be a leg and there's kind of somewhat of a leg left.
So my friend Betty made this for me, and she's just like full on like shows it off. Like, hey.
Do you like it?
It's like, it is definitely a shiny, freaky, sparkly, magical leg. And there's just like arcane runes sort of like just swirling around in there. And there's this like metallic band where it sort of connects to the rest of her actual leg.
I mean, I think it's very pretty. It's very glittery and stuff, so I'm particularly into that. But if you wanted something more physical, I might be able to locate someone who has the skills necessary to give you, call it an upgrade. Maybe.
Interesting proposition. I think there are certainly things that your skill set could do for us, and she gestures to the collective, whether that is just Maggie there or the rest of the companions that are collected here. But we are definitely noting that down.
Great.
To be completely transparent here, we are very interested in the ability to break certain magics upon certain peoples who we need to help us. And as payment for our services here rendered, we would like, in some capacity, to be able to, do that. So those magics being specifically like things like Gaioses, particularly powerful ones. So to that end, that will be what we will be seeking in regards for our services primarily.
Okay.
However, my compatriots and I may have other things that we may request in exchange for more favorable responses, depending on what we're offered here. I don't mean to imply that we can be bribed, but like, we certainly
this is that kind of
have needs.
situation. I think this is just that kind of situation.
We have needs, and we are certainly willing to discuss what those needs are between all of us. And come to a reasonable conclusion.
Sure. Doesn't sound shady at all.
Yep. This isn't a time to worry about high ethical standards.
Okay. All right. I understand. We're all on the same page now. Okay.
All right. Cool. Fantastic.
Yeah. Okay.
Wonderful.
All right. As far as your Gias friend goes, if a greater restoration can't fix it, again, my knowledge might be able to locate the thing that can.
Have we tried greater restoration? She just like checks in.
Cordelia's been hanging back and it's like, yes, I have had that tried before. But the Arbiter did say that they could do it.
Okay, so the Arbiter will... Okay, cool. So, you all don't have to worry about that. The Arbiter is paying us for that.
Congratulations.
Lovely. We love
I'm
that.
very happy for you.
Thank you.
And for that, your specific, let's call it divinatory knowledge, that was a 2-question limit?
Yes.
2-question limit.
And I should warn you too, just like all on in the mood of transparency, the answer that I get back may not be straight to the point. It should still be helpful in some way, shape, or form, but it could be a little bit muddy. And I just didn't want to alarm you. If
naturally,
we got that
it is the
back.
nature of divinatory magic.
Exactly.
Less than exact.
All of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes more trouble than they're worth, really, but yeah.
I did sleep through most of my divination classes, so
that's the most interesting one.
I guess. I mean, in some ways, it has become more interesting of late. I will give you that.
Which school of magic are you particularly interested in?
Well, technically speaking, I am a generalist with a particular emphasis in abjuration and evocation
Versatile.
magics. However, I have been expanding my boundaries in other less known and more esoteric magics as my life has gone on and the need has risen.
Oh, that's 100% mood. Oh, I feel you so hard. Okay. Well, you're doing great, and if this conversation was any indication of your capabilities of questioning and absorbing, you're gonna be great. You're gonna do great.
Thank you so much.
Y'all are great.
Reach out for an orange slice with that.
Yeah, send the grumpy one back.
Which one?
That's a really good point. Karis, you're sort of.
Was it the topaz dragon or the red dragon?
I thought I was the grumpy one.
Huh?
Yeah, you are. Just the topaz. Send the topaz one. I don't know. I don't know if you have like a strategy here, Karis.
I mean, whichever one.
Okay.
Let's just go ahead. So thank you.
Please don't start another argument. Please pick one.
No. And she would go ahead and like, let's all stand. We will leave the room and just call somebody in. So, thank you very much. We will sit with you again after we have discussed with the others. And she's going to look at Smolder and Rev and see which one is looking least hostile right now.
Ooh, that's a good question.
I feel like Rev was on the edge of his seat and looking really impatient and huffy, and Rex was more just like, Smolder was just like relaxing. Do I remember that correctly?
Yeah.
And is he still in such a reclined?
Annoyed, but quite relaxed.
Exactly, but more like bored with this proceeding kind of deal of like, ugh, it continues to go on. So she would politely invite, pardon me, I don't think we've been introduced. Hello, I am Karis, and this is Maggie, and this is Galadeth, and we're to be your, I guess, deputy arbiters today. Would you like to step into the room with us to discuss some particulars of this case?
Certainly. And Smolder hops down from his chair and follows you guys into the room.
Fantastic. Offers you a seat. And we all sit at this, I guess, conference table. I'm imagining that this is like the interior of a conference room, quite frankly.
Hey, I'm here for it. Yeah, it's
It's
probably got enough chairs
so
and like
it's
a
really
table.
nice. It's sumptuous. It has like the velvet lined executive seats. It's got the mahogany table, mahogany paneling. Like we're in a fancy lawyer's conference room. Is definitely what this feels like.
And did I miss it, or is Smolder coming in there in full dragon form?
Oh, no, yeah, full dragon.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
so it obviously resizes for.
Yeah, the door just kind of
magical.
The
Why would they?
very large conference room.
All right, fantastic.
It catches his shoulders on it going in.
Smolder takes up 75% of the room.
That's a little bit of a tight fit in here. Yes.
All right, so wonderful to have you with us. So
Pleasure to be here.
in a
World
perfect
millennia.
world of this horde, which understandably cannot be solely granted to just one of the dragons here, what would be your priority leaving here today?
Well, I am an ancient red, and I have spent literally a millennia sitting here squabbling with these two over this, and not amassing a horde for myself. Something quite important for all dragons, but especially those of my kind.
You've probably
if-
lost more than you would have gained.
Oh, most certainly. But it was probably mostly lost in the cataclysm anyways. I think a nice centerpiece would do me well. I think if I could throw the rest away, I would pick the Crystal of Apathy as the thing that I would want the most, being the most valuable thing in the collection. The artwork, the cultural pieces, leave that for the knowledge dragons. I have no care for that. But the gold and the gems, that speaks to this old dragon's heart.
Where would you take them?
Wherever. I'd find a place.
You don't have a place.
Well, who would stop me from taking one?
What I meant, I guess, is, what did you leave
An
behind?
amount of people, theoretically speaking.
When you came down here, what did you leave behind?
I left behind a very robust hoard of my own.
Oh, I wonder what happened to it.
I hope to find out soon myself.
Yeah, it's been a long time. It's probably gone.
You don't have to remind me.
That can be sensitive.
But yes, that is my plan. An answer to that question.
I
Excellent.
guess my point is that, for the sake of this one gem, you may have lost everything else.
Oh, I'm well aware.
Yeah.
Because of a millennia-long squabble.
Right.
And
Yeah.
this
But I
gem
have
is
to
really
recoup
that
somehow.
powerful, or I guess that valuable? Question mark?
I mean, it's ruby mithril. It's red. It belongs with
Oh,
me.
that makes sense.
I
That
see,
makes
I see, I
sense.
see. Okay.
I get it.
And look, it would probably be best to give it to me. Everyone's safe now, as things stand with this aura of nonviolence, this agreement that we have. But things may change very drastically as soon as that's lifted.
Oh, I'll remember that you said that. Thank you for letting us know that.
Mm-hmm.
I'll definitely not forget
Interesting,
that.
fascinating. Okay. Is there anything else you wanted to ask, Maggie?
Oh, I'm good.
You're good? Okay.
Mhm.
Thank you so much, Master Ancient Red Dragon, sir. Please, follow us this way and would escort you back out.
I do.
Like, fantastic. You may return to your seat. And of course, Rev is then gestured to of, hello, I'm Karis, this is Maggie, and Golaneth. Would you please join us in the conference room to discuss a little bit about your situation here?
You see this enormous topaz dragon form, kind of like there's a flash of what looks like what you would understand as a player is like static, and then they disappear, and then beside you appears probably like a dwarf-sized creature with like kind of like brownish reddish skin, like an elongated skull, and just very like elongated like bulbous skull and like wings. They look kind of like a fiend, kind of like an imp, but like less pointy and more round.
I see.
And they just kind of walk past you and into the room.
Fantastic. And so we go back into the room. Thank you for joining us. With the understanding that no one here can leave with the totality of this hoard, what would your priorities be and what you would like to achieve from this arbitration?
I'll bet the other two probably told you that the thing they want the most is the crystal, right? Yeah. Well, surprise, surprise, me too. But I don't want it for me. I want it because they're not gonna do it right. They're not gonna.
Let's dig into that. Could you elaborate on that concept for me, please?
Well, Smolder the ever burning. Of course, he's a brute. He's an idiot. What's he gonna do with it? He probably just wants it because it's red. And then you see a flash of static, and he disappears and reappears as a Zorn. It's like a thing, like a earth elemental thing with a mouth on the top and like a bunch of wiggly arms going around. It's like, I want it. I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna eat it, and I'm just gonna hold on to it. It's red. I'm red. I should have the red thing. Blah, blah, blah. And you see a flash of static again, and it goes back to or he turns into a diva now, so like an angel with like fine cloths and like angel wings and porcelain skin. It says, and Prisma, the iridescent. She probably wants it so that she can do good things and bring new life into the world and revel in the glory of the gem. And that's wrong. That's wrong. That's not what it's for.
What's it for?
Yeah, what is it for?
The static again, and then back to being the original thing, the Burbalai, for those of you who know what that is. Going with them.
I have to look at
Kinda
that.
like-
Burbling?
Yeah, kind of calms back down. Says what it's really for is nothing. And I mean that in, I guess, the true sense that I don't know that you would necessarily understand, and I might not have time to elucidate it for you before these proceedings end. But what it should be is destroyed. It should be ground to dust, and it should not be used for anything else.
Maybe take a shot at the thing that you think we can't understand, though. Just try a little bit. Impress me.
Do you,
And Karis is just like looking like she's holding on to your every word, and she has been dutifully writing all of this down. There's been some pretty heavy scribbling around the destroyed part, and an uncomfortable amount of scribbling when you mentioned the whole nothing portion of your speech. Like, there are theories, there are formulas forming on that page that are quite complex already, and there are like arrows and almost like that crazy string thing going on, but in ink on that page.
do you know how a dragon is born?
Assume we don't. And then she flips back a few pages to that expanded area, and she gets ready again.
Well, nowadays they're hatched from an egg. He seems like annoyed that he had to even say that. Where dragons come from, originally. The first dragons. How all dragons were born. It's a very different story. You know where gods come from? And don't tell me to explain it to you, I'm asking you, and I want your answer. And if you don't know, that's fine, I'll explain it to you. But if I don't have to, all the better.
There are theories about the nature of magic and collective belief, but they are currently unverified, especially in the wake of the cataclysm and the changes that occurred to the entire magical ecosystem after that point. So
you don't. Great. So, you've never sailed the Sea of Stars, have you? I don't think you have. You don't seem like the types who've been out there before.
Once.
the astral plane, no, I cannot say that I have.
Once. What did you see there? What great wonders did you find?
Look,
A
you're
pirate.
Yeah.
Did you say a pirate?
I said a pirate.
Okay.
You could just answer our question.
I have a couple of questions.
Please.
Well, I told you that I don't have time to elucidate it all for you, but then you told me to explain it all to you. So which is it? What do you want?
My questions are simple.
Great. What's your question?
There's two of them.
Sure.
Multi-part, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
How would you destroy it? And why would you destroy it?
I would destroy it because its purpose is to be destroyed. And the methods I would employ in order to destroy it.
What are the consequences of its destruction?
Yeah.
What is its
happens?
purpose?
What happens? Yeah.
Oh, its purpose is fulfilled.
Right.
Its
You're
purpose
dancing
is to be
around the subject.
destroyed.
You know, we can't understand where there's a thing that you're not saying and you don't want us to know that you're not saying it, so you just talk around it over and over and over again.
You know, it's kind of weird being not the only cryptic guy in the room anymore.
You're very good at it, though.
Are you enjoying this?
I mean, I think I owe y'all an apology.
I'm glad
Thank you.
finally,
Apology
yes.
accepted.
Mhm. Yeah.
Well, I already owed you an apology, but that's
There are many-
There's just like a lot of nodding.
Number of things that the crystal can be used for are legion. The primary use of the crystal, and probably what the Prisma will do with it eventually when she finally wraps her tiny brain around its capability, is that she will attempt to resurrect a dead god. Which is something that should not be done. Things live, they grow, they die. This is the way of things.
Any god in particular?
I couldn't say exactly which one she would want.
But you get to pick.
Whoever possessed the crystal would get to pick. And it's not as though, let me be very clear, it's not as though possessing the crystal will immediately enable somebody to be able to perform the ritual necessary to resurrect said deceased deity. It would take what I would call a long time. So it would be long after all of you have just been ground back into dust. And that's not a threat. Don't take that the wrong way. I'm just saying what will happen.
It is a verifiable fact that you will live millennia and we will certainly not. So, understandable.
Well,
I mean,
I'll
be around a while.
Same.
Millennia.
No, but I mean, long enough.
It depends on how good I get at the whole druid stuff. But it's true. It's true. I'm not a fan of it, but it's true. Would you be using it for the god thing too, or just you would destroy it so it wouldn't get used?
I would destroy it, as I've said several
right.
times. Actually,
in order to use it, or would you destroy it so that it wouldn't get used?
So that it would not be.
Like, you're not smarter than my son, right? Like he does the same thing. Okay. You would destroy it so that it wouldn't be used. That's what you're claiming.
Yes.
I would like to make an insight check on that, please, if I may.
Of course, roll me that insight check. Anyone who wants.
Karis, meanwhile, is raising her hand.
I am using
dig
the
into
D6
this.
now.
Okay,
I
So-
raised my hand also.
I don't know this.
So this
17.
crystal contains a excessive amount of magical energy. Would that be a true statement?
No.
Is this crystal capable of channeling an immense amount of magical energy towards a certain goal?
It is a conduit, yes.
Fantastic, thank you. And there's more rapid tracing and already sketches of theoretical, obviously, rituals that are now happening on this paper. And she's like, okay, cool, fantastic.
And Maggie, that was a 17. Was that with the 6?
That was with the 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do they glean?
What is this crystal made out of?
It is mithril and ruby the size of a carriage that are intertwined, like the mithril's interwoven like lightning streaking through it.
Is this a toy carriage or a full-size carriage?
Like a full-size carriage. This is like a massive
You did that so I wouldn't steal it, didn't you?
Yeah. Kind of.
How do you know this about this crystal?
So the 17, let me do the insight check.
Yeah, first up.
Yeah. Excuse me. There's definitely obviously there's more information to be gleaned from questioning this guy forever, right? But yeah, and that comes across very clearly. He seems to be speaking very quickly, but you don't necessarily get the sense that he's exactly dancing around anything on purpose. You get the feeling he's just kind of annoyed that he has to be answering what he probably feels are very simple, basic questions, and he's just kind of upset that you guys don't just get it. But as far as practiced or intentional deception goes, you don't necessarily pick up on any of that.
Like he doesn't have a hidden agenda to resurrect a god. It's kind of, yeah, okay.
You don't get that with a 17, though.
It's a bit of a sore spot for us.
So Rex, oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Karis asked a question. What was it again?
That was how do you know all of this about this crystal and its potential uses?
How does anybody know anything?
That's not an answer to the question.
I'm asking you to reflect on how you learned the things that you know, and I'm telling you in a roundabout way.
Specific answers as to where we learn this, because yes, I learned from parents, I learned from colleagues, I learned from books, I learned from experience. A lot of those would lend themselves to different conclusions depending on which one of these provided you this information.
Study. Many different sources came together. From which I
you would say that you are an expert in these arcane arts to a degree that it far exceeds your compatriots here?
I would say I'm much more knowledgeable than them in the fields of the fundamental forces of life and death, of creation and destruction, of entropy.
You literally see like Karis just freeze for many seconds at that.
And I'll say, I would be, well, not delighted, but willing to share any additional information with you about the nature of any of those subjects. You could feel free to plumb the depths of them to your desire.
And your price for this would be that crystal in order to destroy said crystal. Correct.
If something more material is more any of your purview, any of your desire, I'm also very well versed in the forces of creation. I can create most anything. You'd like an adamantine leg? All I need is the adamantine. I can shape it into the leg.
That's not creation, that's transmutation. Small correction. But thank you for the thought. It is appreciated. And she just starts scribbling madly. Again, deep in that book.
Rex, pertinent. I'm not sure what should I. So, in all of your wisdom, how would you decide? What would be your factors? If you were over here, we were up there, how would you arbitrate this?
You mean to say that in this hypothetical situation?
Yeah, completely hypothetical. How would you decide?
You three, or I guess are there more of them? There's more party members that are around, but the players just aren't here. This group here, you all,
us, we, the collective,
saved the world from a terrible calamity, and then spent a millennia debating who should get what, and then I showed up. Well, how would I divvy it amongst all of you?
Yeah. I mean, this is a tough spot. We've got Smolder over there, who we're all pretty sure wants to see the world burn. The iridescent one, who we're pretty sure wants to, after talking to you, resurrect a god at the least. You know, do what they wanted to do with it. And there's you, who just wants to destroy it. And my fear is no matter what we choose, since you all want the same thing, 2 of 3 are going to be pretty pissed. And then this treaty that they've had will end.
Did express so long as there is an excessive amount of magic items and gemstones, they could be persuaded to give up their lust for the giant big crystal. And she doesn't seem to quote this directly from her notes. So small correction.
So what's your thoughts on that, Rex Delicious? Is there any validity to that? Could y'all be coaxed away from what y'all covet? Because it seems to me that they all want this thing pretty bad for a reason that I don't think we're getting the full answer to.
Oh, we absolutely are not. So that's
Yeah.
a verifiable fact. Mhm.
Yeah, so the big question is, what powers does this thing hold?
None of its own. It's a component.
An incredibly valuable magical component,
Yes.
if what our source here can be believed. Sorry, I mean, you don't have your citations or anything here, so I just have to. We do have to say allegedly, for posterity.
Were I in your situation, I don't know that I can even imagine how I would bring myself to care about the squibbling and squabbling of tiny little mortal creatures over treasure. I'd probably just kill all of you and take it.
I mean, naturally.
Or I wouldn't have agreed to do anything for the Arbiter in the first place.
What did you do for the Arbiter?
Save the world.
And how did you all do that exactly?
In cooperation with one another.
Oh my gosh. What did you save the world
Slightly more
from?
detail, considering that we, the poor mortal races who have none of this knowledge or experience or cultural anything since the Cataclysm, sort of destroyed it all. So you definitely didn't save like the entire world, or certainly enough for any of us to do anything good about it. We would like some details to properly arbitrate this matter.
So Rex would share some of those details, but I, as a player, do not have them.
Yeah,
so,
fantastic.
Yeah.
Sure. So I'll give you the spark notes. So, what they did was, by utilizing the draconic magic in their bodies and beings, they worked with the Arbiter to form a protective barrier. The protective barrier was around the temple. In the visions you all saw last session, where, everything got burned away, everything in the temple was safe, including the people. So, that could shed to believe that most of the people that, after the Cataclysm, walked away in this geographic area and then spread out, were protected just because of the three dragons and the Arbiter's actions. Given that may not have been all the people that survived, probably there were plenty of people that lived in other spots, but for a significant portion of the population of the city, they did save them.
Why did you agree to help? I mean, you've expressed yourself that you just delete us, and your ability to care for us puny mortal races is incredibly limited in the first place. Why did you agree to spend your magic doing that?
I haven't yet grown tired of living.
And there was no option to, I suppose, leave this place to its fate and simply save yourself?
Not at the time, but over the past millennia, I've had ample time to reconsider that decision. Were I to be presented with it again today, I might have acted different.
Where would you go?
Another of the myriad planes.
Go to another plane? Do what?
Live.
Alone? With
I hope so.
Someone?
You tire of your company here?
Tire of company.
But there's nothing specific out in the rest of the world to draw you out either. Just not them.
Correct. I would like to be alone.
Then why wait around for anything of this horde at all? You could have just cut and run.
Well, I can't just
formed a horde elsewhere.
I can't just leave potential rivals out there to gather power.
Well, I mean,
en
there are
masse.
at least probably dozens of other dragons on this planet alone that are currently gathering hordes and power that you certainly aren't being stuck in here with these two. So it's a little bit of a fallacious argument. We really dig into it.
Very much a monkey's paw situation.
What is keeping you here? Is it the possibility of the crystal going to one of these two and your adamant desire for them not to have it? Or is it something else?
No, that's pretty much it.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Question unrelated to all this. So what do you know about the malevolence?
What do I know about the malevolence, DM?
Oh gosh, roll me a intelligence check, I guess, or a history check, religion. I don't care, just something with intelligence.
I feel like dragons should have some kind of advantage on history checks.
Yep, that's fair.
Like,
I'll give you
that
advantage on
shouldn't
it.
be a regular roll.
That's a fact.
That would be a 17.
17, and that was with advantage.
Yeah, I don't have proficiency in any things. Can I be proficient in history?
You know what? I'm gonna give you a free 1d6 because dragon, guest star.
Okay.
We'll get you to a 21.
Okay.
What you know of the malevolence is, I'm gonna change the music for this. We don't get happy music when we talk about something like the malevolence.
The malevolence.
Malevolence.
Boop, 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 boop. No, we get a song called Devastation and Revenge.
The malevolence phenomena. Malevolence.
Malevolence.
What exactly is the malevolence? All right, I had a moment.
Hey, it happens. What you recall about the malevolence was that was not always its name. Far, far before, when the Fae walked the material plane, when the grass grew and the world molded itself to the whims of primordials and the Fae, thought, reason, emotion were what dictated what is done and what is created. However, when the Starless Ones came, the only surplus of emotion was fear, despair, dread. These were the capitalizing negative emotions that affected not just a country, but affected the world. Multiple planes, multiple worlds even, in your travels. And because of that, it grew a life of its own, to a degree. It became something more than simply a primordial experience, but rather a entity able to affect the world at large. As such, you could capitulate that over the millennia, this has desires which are born of the cataclysm. To what ends or to what intelligence it has, you would not be able to even suspect. But originally, this was not just dread and negative emotions, but was more a embodiment of an all-encompassing emotion of the range of positive, negative, and neutral. And much like much like anyone when they are overwhelmed with a certain aspect, whether it's good or bad, it is forever changed.
Cool. So Rex shares all that, but I think he would couch it in sort of a way that makes it seem like he likes the idea of it, but he doesn't like the execution necessarily. Like it seems like he would prefer. He doesn't like that it just changes something and makes it worse, and then moves on or whatever. It's he would expound that he would prefer it like just be a force that just destroyed shit and then left. So he's in awe of it in a way, but also kind of disgusted by it.
It's not absolutist enough for him. This is what I'm getting the sense of. He's like, don't be so wishy-washy. Either destroy things or don't. Stop
The malevolence
in
is too
between
nice.
nonsense.
The malevolence is too nice.
Basically, it's either you need to be like all nice or you need to be all bad. There is no in between. This in between nonsense is wishy-washy and beneath you. Like,
Yes.
honestly, I love that for Rev. The man knows the
Going up on the merch shirt is a little dragon that says "Destroy shit or move on."
There's more furious scribbling. There's frequent references in this, whatever this is that this tiefling has. Is it a spell book? You've seen scrapbooks that look more like a spell book than whatever this thing is. It's a little horrifying for you to witness, personally. You're not sure how it exists, but it does, and it affronts your sensibilities. You personally, Rev. Rex, excuse me. Rex Felicious. So this was a primordial force of potentiality that has since warped into more of this negatively bent potentiality. Would that be an accurate statement?
Yes.
Follow me a second here. So is this something that's possible to be reversed?
Perhaps, given enough time to study and resources.
Would the crystal that theoretically actually exists in this hoard here be potentially capable of unleashing the amount of oppositional energy needed to trigger the appropriate reversal needed to restore the malevolence to its previous state of being?
I don't want to answer that question.
Cool, fantastic, thank you. And there's more vicious scribbling. I think we have all we need. She says it probably to her friends.
Would that be a benevolence?
Rue at this point goes, I think I heard all I need to hear here. And just like walks out and then calls over to Rex and goes, Hey you! Or Smolder! What are you gonna do for us if we help you?
Yeah, so look, I'm either gonna be a friend or an enemy here, guys. I don't have the knowledge like the other people, but I have might. I can help you in battle.
Could you kill, like, a whole bunch of Assyrian Empire people for us?
Oh, I can kill anything you need. Oh, I'll kill anything you want.
How many could you kill? Like, are we talking like an army? Are we talking like a small brigade?
You know, with the right help, you just write a number. I'm gonna hand you a blank check. You write down how many people they got. Pass it back this way. We'll make it happen.
Interesting. She just like pulls Rue back.
I don't know, but that sounds like a really solid deal.
We're pulling Rue back into the door. We were shutting the door, and we were saying, and then we are like ushering like Rex Delicious out of the door, and then the whole thing just like closes, locks. You hear shing, shing, and you three dragons are just left out there with these people in the conference room.
I mean, it sounds like a pretty solid deal. I mean, we got the
No,
Empire.
you don't understand. No,
we could kill them, and then no problems.
Listen here, understand fully. So I think that we
fight all the
take the
dragons.
crystal because nobody gets the crystal.
Yep.
Because not a single one. No. And then we split up the rest of the valuables equally.
That
Amongst
crystal
the three of them, and we tell them to take a hike.
Okay, so what happens if we tell them to take a hike and then they choose not to take a hike and they decide, hey, we all sided together during the, colossal fuck you from the universe, and then they decide to just kill us and then kill each other and take it?
That's kind of what's going to happen anyway. I mean,
yeah,
that's
like that is a real problem. However, we do have the Arbiter who is here to arbitrate our decision. And presumably, the only reason they haven't killed each other already is because the Arbiter is here. Which theoretically means that the Arbiter is, in fact, stronger than these three. Otherwise, they would have disrespected this entire place and taken it all and destroyed each other in the process already.
So what you're saying is we should leave, make our decision, and use a sending spell. To send it back to the Arbiter after we're, safely away.
Well,
I'm all for sneaking out.
Sounds to me like we should make this decision next week. We're not going to be able to sneak
out with a giant mithril ruby.
Yes.
No, I'm not talking about taking the rubies.
To make this decision.
So we are going to make a decision in 2 weeks' time, just so we can have the rest of the party here. We're going to do a quick little sign-off. For those of you, I guess we'll change the music again. Such a struggle.
I wanted to see the dragons debate amongst themselves. What do they feel?
Yeah, you all, we're going to do a fishbowl exercise, okay? The three of you are going to talk about what should happen, and we'll watch and take notes.
So, without further ado,
what
I would love to know from all of my players and then all my cast members and my guests is, who are you? Where can we find you? And what are some cool projects you're working on, if any? As for me, my name is Graham. You can find me here every Tuesday. Next week, I will be DMing Shards of Anarion, where our group finally reached Oakledge after a long time coming. What will they find there? Probably more of Brodus failing at his romance attempts with Robin and saying 6 words to her in 5 minutes. And then failing to smuggle a love note. But outside of that, you can find me on Sunday on Sword and Key, where I will be doing a charity one-shot of lycanthropes, I think. I should probably get these names down. But outside of that, you can't find me anywhere except for here. Or, I guess, Guild Wars too, but outside of that, you can't find me anywhere. But you'll hear more about that later. So I'm going to pass the torch on to Goldeneth.
Hey, that's me. Confounded. I was playing Goldeneth, still am playing Goldeneth, until 5 minutes from now. And you can find me in the places if you know where to find me in those places. Otherwise, I'm working on some stuff and things that's pretty cool. And maybe I'll be working on stuff and things that I could talk about here one day. I don't know. Love your faces. And the rest of you as well.
I think that puts me next. Great. I'm Jen, and you can't find me anywhere. I'm not on social media because I don't like social media. And right now, I don't have any upcoming streams or games. If y'all are casting for something, you can't tell me because I'm not on social media. I'm not going to be in anything otherwise. So that's me. Yeah.
You heard it here, chat. Get in the DMs.
Yeah.
Get in the Graham Crackers Discord.
There you go.
Get into it. So hello everyone. It is I, Kari. I've had the pleasure of playing Karis, the Tiefling Wizard, tonight for all of you. You can also not really find me unless you knew where to find me in the first place, except for what we're going to put in the chat here, where you can find me on Guild Wars too. I'm over there sometimes, and role playing and stuff and doing fun things in the open world. And there was recently a whole expansion, and there's been some cool sales and like a lot of interesting stuff happening over there. So you could do that. Always an option. But besides that, I don't have any streams coming up. You're gonna probably see me here more often since I really don't have other places to be. And also these people are awesome, so you know, why wouldn't I be here? But we're gonna dig into this some more. This is some fascinating stuff, and I'm so happy to have been here after such a long break, and I can't wait to come back next time.
Great to have you back. For like,
All right, we'll go in reverse order for our lovely guests. Who can we get a special shout out for our guests in the chat, like some Graham love? Because you know, thank you Casey, thank you Cool Cat, thank you Vinny for taking time out of your busy week to spend time with us. You are all three fantastic. But we'll start with Cool Cat. Where can we find you? What are some cool projects we can help support?
As for cool projects you can help support, really the only thing I've got going other than just normal day-to-day stuff is the Xmas Estate Discord. If you like VR chat, if you like video gaming, you like a community of people that are wild and crazy, anything could happen, man. Discord.gg/EE3. Come try it out.
Excellent. You even have your nice little command now.
Hi.
Battle it out. Okay.
I'm Casey. I also can't be found on the internet. As far as projects go, me and Vinny are playing a lot of Baldur's Gate 3 right now. It's a really good game. It's amazing. And I am just really happy to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me.
I'm the aforementioned Vinny. I played Revvax of the Annihilationists, the pertinent Topaz Dragon. And what Case said. I exist on the internet in places, not Guild Wars, unfortunately. I've been playing a lot of Heroes of the Storm in between playing Baldur's Gate. And I play Li Ming a lot. She's a wizard. She teleports around, shoots laser beams, and I think that's cool. So I like to do that. And then thank you, Graham, for bringing me here. Oh, I guess I'll be on the thing next. I play in the other game, the other Anarions thing. I'll be here next week at the same time on the same channel, same place and stuff. So I'll be there. Anyway, I'm done talking now.
I was
Thank
so
you,
looking for some way to say it's Rex Felicious.
Rex Felicious.
If I was a bard, it would have happened.
If only Beldis had been here. Oh gosh.
It's Rex Felicious.
But thank you everyone for tuning in tonight. It is an absolute delight to have everyone here. Thank you, chat, all of you. This channel wouldn't be what it is today without all of you. So, although we are headed out tonight, I just want you to know that it's not goodbye forever, and we will be back soon. So until next time, stay happy, stay healthy, and you always have a friend here. So goodbye for now.